Okay, so branching statements and looping statements, two different types we have. So the branching statements will be helpful to execute some part of the program or to jump from one part of the program to another part of the program. So it was our discussion about the branching statement. Then what exactly loop statement is? Uh, Generally, the program follows sequential flow of execution. This part already we have discussed. Suppose if we have some set of lines like this. Okay, so consider like this, you have n number of statements. Okay, so like this, we have n number of statements. So up to the looping part, what we did is whenever the program is executing, it follows the sequential flow of execution. When we talk about the jump statements or the if statements, what happens is it can break the sequential flow. It can jump from one part of the program to another part of the program based on the if condition. Okay, so means we can control the execution flow of the program. We can jump from one part of the program to another part of the program using switch case statement or the if statements, or the different types of if statements we have discussed so far. So then the other part is the control statements that now we are discussing is the looping statements. For looping statements, in loop, we have four categories: for loop, while loop, do while loop, and for each loop. And all these loops are helpful to break the sequential flow again. Means whenever it follows the default execution of the flow, the sequential flow of execution. Sometimes apart from if statements, we need a different approach also. See, if statements are helpful in forward approach. So forward approach means, so when you have the multiple lines like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, like this, when you have number of statements, going forward means 1, 2, 3 execute lines, jump from 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. That approach, it will work. However, if you wanted to go to the previous section, means backward approach is not possible using switch case statement or if statements. Remember, we have few others like go to, continue, that kind of statements, but we never use them as part of real-time experience, so that I don't want to waste time of discussing those statements. Okay, so mostly we use the if statements and switch case statement to forward and jump from one part of the program to another part of the program. However, this won't support the backward mechanism. Means execute 7 and again come back to 3, execute 4, 5, 6, 7, and again go to the previous. This kind of backward mechanism is not possible using switch case statement. In those scenarios, we have to work with the looping statements. So like I said, the looping statements, if you take any one of the program, that program can be done using any one of the loop statements that we were going to discuss now. It just depends on the feasibility and the comfortness and the program demand. By taking into consideration these 3 points, we need to decide which loop we have to use in our program. So now first let us see one example where I am supposed to work with the loop statements. Okay, so let me give you one example. So the example is, okay, so you have to write a program. Okay, you have to write a program, and the purpose of the program is you have to print the numbers from 1 to 5. Consider like this. Okay, you are asked to write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 5. So this is the program you are supposed to write. Okay, so consider like as of now, we have no idea about what are the loop statements. Okay, we just know the general sequence of the program. We know how to use the data types int, char, float, and all. And we don't know the looping statements, but we have some idea about the switch case statement. Okay. Okay. So in the absence of loop statement, if you are asked to print numbers from 0 to 5, this is the way we can do. Okay. Int 0. So you guys were able to join, right? Are you facing any issues? Thank you. Okay, so using our current knowledge, if we are writing a program to print the numbers from 0 to 5, we have to follow this approach. Okay, so int I equal to 0, we have to print that value. Then we have to write I equal to I plus 1. So we have to continue this pattern 5 times. And the worst thing is we have to remember that you are writing this in 5 times only. Okay, so the task given for you is write a program to print the numbers from 0 to given number or 0 to 5. And for that, I write a simple program and imagine at this moment, we were not aware of this one, how to uh, use the looping statements. And this is the way we can build the program. Okay, so this is the way it can print the numbers from 0 to 5. Here, we have a very worst thing. The thing is, we have to keep on adding one I equal to I plus 1 like this, and we don't know when 5 comes. So for 5, we were able to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But maybe you were asked to write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 100 or maybe 0 to 200 like this, then we don't we cannot count it also. So then when we have to work with looping statements is, there are two cases. The first thing is when a program need to be terminated based on condition, that is the first one. The second one, if you observe the logic of the program that we have used here, okay, if we try to observe the logic of the program that we are using here, the logic of the program is same. Okay, so the logic of the program is same. I equal to I plus 1, print I value. I equal to I plus 1, print I value. Okay, I equal to I plus 1, print I value. Like this, we have repeated the same logic. Okay, we have repeated the same logic more than once, approximately 5 times here. Maybe if you are asked to print numbers from 0 to 10, maybe you have to write this the same logic 10 times as well, which is very bad in terms of the program performance and the execution time and compile time by considering that. So what we have to do is, as the logic of the program is same, which is repeating n number of times, here n is the max number that supposed to display. Okay, in that case, what I need to do is, don't write the logic n number of times, write the logic only once, write the logic only once, execute the same logic. Okay, execute the same logic n number of times, means execute 12 and 13, and from 13 again come to 12 and execute 12 and 13 in loop. If we need 5 times, it has to execute 5 times. If we need 100 numbers, it has to execute the same program 100 times. Like this, it has to be in a perfect loop. It has to be in a perfect loop. That is the case where exactly we have to work with the looping statement. And remember, the main difference between if statements and looping statements is if statements follows the forward mechanism and jump from one part of the program to another part of the program. Loop statement supports the backward mechanism, means from the certain line, it can come back to the previous line and it can execute certain lines of the program multiple times. Okay, not jump from one part of the other part, it would be in the loop. Okay, so why we said loop is it is in the circular. Okay, 13 to 14 and from 14 to 13. So like this, it would be in the loop format, so that we call it as the loop statement. So then how the loop statements are constructed? Okay, how the loop statements are constructed. So like we said, there are 3 types of loop statements, 4 types of loop statements. Generally in old technologies like C and C++, there are 3 loop statements. But coming to C#.NET or Java, any advanced technologies like Python, it has the for each loop also. Okay, we will discuss about that one as well. But let us see what are the loops and what is the syntax for it and how it works. Okay, so loops we were discussing. We have 3 loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, and for each loop. Okay, 3 types of loops. So then how the loops works? Okay, how the loops work. See, when you talk about the jumping statements or the branching statements, we were talking about the condition. Okay, condition. So whenever you work with any if statement, if is followed by a condition, when the condition is true, it goes to the if block or the else block, it will skip the rest of the blocks. So it was the theory behind how if statements are working. Coming to for statement, okay, coming to for statement, how it not only for any loop, it based on 3 factors. Okay, 3 factors. Okay, say when you talk about a loop, means repeat same n number of times. The first question we have to ask is when it has to stop. That is called as the initialization value. The second one is called as the condition. Okay, second one is the condition. Condition describes how many times a loop should be executed. Then increment are the decrement. We call it as the plus plus and minus minus. I don't think I have told you this operator plus plus or minus minus, but I will try to explain it now along with the session. Okay, so any loop that is based on these three factors: initialization, condition, and plus plus. So when we said the program will execute same part of program n number of times, okay, n number of times, the things we need to consider is the thing we need to consider is when it has to start. Suppose if I give you a program, write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 10. 10 would be the 0 would be the initialization value. So when a loop has to start, okay, and what is the initial value of the loop? That is called as the int, okay, initialization. Okay, init stands for the initialization. If instead of writing the full name, why I keep it init is many times when you see the online examples are there, they will use the same word. Init stands for the installation. So the first value will be configured as the installation. The second one, condition. So what is the condition of the program that we were discussing is write a program to print numbers up to 10. Okay, so write a program, we said. Okay, write a program 0 to print 0 to 10. Okay, 0 to 10. So this is our program. Okay, so in this program, what exactly int is? Okay, so what exactly int is, where it has to begin. Here 0 is the beginning point of the program, that is called as the initialization of the program. Then what is condition? Condition is print up to 10. Okay, print up to 10. Here 10 is called as the condition of the program. Means a loop has to begin its execution with 0 and it has to execute 10 times. Okay, 10 is called as the condition of the program. Then what is plus or minus is, you may be asked to write a program in two different ways. Write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 10. That is one thing. The second one is 10 to 0 also. Okay, 10 to 0 also. Suppose if I tell you, write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 10, 0 would be the initialization value and 10 would be the condition. Okay, 10 would be the condition. And from 0 to 10, either the value to be incremented or the decremented. In this particular example, we have to keep adding 1 every time to the first number, so that this is called as the plus plus increment. Maybe I can ask you to write a program in different way. Write a program to print the numbers from 10 to 0. Then the initial initialization value will become 10 because where it has to begin, that is the important. Okay, so where it has to begin the execution of the program, that is important. Here in this example, 10 is the initialization value. Then what is the condition of the program is, I said I have to print numbers from 10 to 1. 10 to 0 means 10, 9, 8, like this, it has to print. In the first example, it has to print the numbers from 0 to 10, means 0, 1, 2, 3, like incremental order. In the second example, it should be the decremental order. So the initialization value and the condition will be changed based on the program description. Then here, instead of increasing the value, we should be able to reduce the value. So that is called as the decrement operator. Okay, that's what the meaning of the incrementation or the decrementation. So any loop that based on these three things, okay, you should be clearly aware of where and how to set these values. Then using loop would be very easy. So the loop will be talking about where to initialize and what is the condition. Condition means indirectly it refers to how many times a loop should be executed. The second one is the incremental or decremental, which one is talking about either to increase the value or to decrease the value from initialization value. That's what we represent plus, plus, and minus, minus. Okay. If any one of you is not aware of what is plus, plus, and minus, minus, I will try to give it in this program, but don't worry about it. Okay. So this is the way the loops are working. Now, how to work with for loop along all these three, and while loop along with all these three, and do while along with all these three. And remember, for each is not relevant to these topics. The way for each works is completely different, not completely different. It is different. Okay, the purpose could be same, but the way we implement the logic is different when compared with the other two loops. Three loops. Okay, so we will discuss for each at the end, but for while do while works in the same fashion. Okay, all of it depends on how neatly you are organizing initialization value, condition, and plus plus. You know. Okay, so let us start with the for loop. Okay, so we were discussing about the for loop. Consider like we are writing a program to print the numbers from 0 to 1. Okay, for loop we are discussing. So how for loop is organized is in the for loop, first we have to give the initialization value. Okay, so we have to use the keyword for, and remember case sensitive small letters only. We have to use the keyword for int, semicolon, and then condition, okay, condition, and the value to be incremented or decremented. Okay, value to be incremented or decremented. Okay, then followed by a statements like this, then close it. So this is the simple syntax of the loop statement. Let us try to implement this here. Okay, so what we said, we are writing a program to print the numbers from 0 to given number or 0 to 10 like this. So we have to take for loop. Okay, we have to take for loop. What we said, for the first one is the initialization value. Okay, first one is the initialization value. So that in the for, we have to define initialization value int I equal to 0, because based on the program, I have to print the numbers from 0 to 10, int I equal to 0. Then next one is the condition. Condition describes how many times a loop should be executed. A loop should be executed 10 times, begins with 0 and 10 times, so that I'm giving I less than 10. Okay, this is the condition of the program. I has to start with the 0 initialization value. It has to keep on increasing 111, and it has to end when the value becomes 10. So I have written the initialization value, then I have written the condition. Then based on the program, the value has to be increased, means plus plus. I'm asking a number from 0 to 10. Okay, plus plus is the number that I can print out. Okay, so then we have to open the brace and the close of the brace. We have to print I. Okay, we have to print I. So that's it. This program will print the numbers from 0 to 10. Now what happens if you are asked to print a, if you are asked to write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 10, you need to write like this. Maybe tomorrow, if you are asked to write a program to print the numbers from 0 to 1000, you just change this condition. So the same will be executed n number of times unless the condition reaches. Means same part of the program will be executed 10 times, 20 times, 1000 times based on your condition. All it depends on how neatly you are organizing the condition. Once see the output, then see the execution pattern. Then if you have any questions, you can raise it. See, it is printing the numbers from 0 to 9. So how it works, how the execution pattern works. Okay, see, whenever you are working with a loop statement, okay, loop statement, first it begins the execution with the loop statement I equal to 0. It will initialize. From here, I equal to 0, it will go to the next statement. Okay, first it will begin from here. It begins from here, I equal to 0, it will set. Then it will go to check for the condition, I less than 10. This is the condition of the program. Like if statement, when the condition is true, from here, it will coming to here. See, follow the pencil symbol. Don't confuse the execution flow. Understanding these loops is important than writing a program and achieving the output. Understand the logic, how it is working. So int I equal to 0, I value will set to 0. Then it will come to check for the condition I less than 10. When the condition is true, it will go inside. It will print the value. What we said in the loop statement, again, it will go to the previous statement. From here, it will go to incrementation of the I value. And again, then it will go to the checking for the condition. So this is the way the loop statement will works. Okay. Now, let us see how the execution takes place. Okay. Like this, I have taken one example. Okay, so this is where we have to print the numbers. Okay, so at this moment, okay, at this moment, we are at this point, I equal to 0. Okay, I equal to 0. Then this will come to the next one, I less than or equal to 10. Okay, I less than or equal to 10. At this moment, okay, when it is executing the first statement, okay, first statement seems not flexible. Okay, let me put it in the comment to see the execution pattern. It would be helpful to understand it. So I'm placing this in the comment. So let us see how this will execute, means the program execution pattern. And like I said, don't by heart it and try to understand how things are working. Okay. So now at this moment, I have a variable I. Okay, I have a variable I. The value of I set it to 0. Okay, the value of I set it to 0. I is equal to 0. Like in the program, okay, like in the program. So what we said is, from here it will go to the next line. Okay, from here it will go to the next line. So what is the next line we have? There is a condition, I less than 10. Okay, I less than 10. So that implies I value is 0. Okay, I value is 0 less than 10. Okay, I value is 0 less than 10. So it will evaluate this expression 0 less than or equal to 10. That is the question. The answer is true because 0 is less than 10. When the answer is true, what happens is from here, okay, from here, after checking the condition, it will go to the inside of the loop statement, probably, which we call it as the loop black. Okay, for black or loop black. Here we were suggested to print console.writeLine I. So what is the very recent I value? I value is 0. This is the I value. Okay. Console.writeLine, what it will do is it will try to print the value 1 at this moment. Okay, 1 at this moment. After printing the value 1 from here, okay, from here, it will go to I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. Okay. So in order to understand better, whatever console.writeLine is printing, I'm trying to print it here. Sorry, 0, it will print because the first value is the 0, not 1. Okay. So from here, it will go back to I plus plus. Remember, I plus plus is an operator which is called as the incremental operator. And also how I plus plus works is, okay, how I plus plus works is, at this moment, I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. Okay, I equal to I plus 1. That is the exact meaning of the I plus plus. So when you said I equal to I plus 1, okay, when you said I equal to I plus 1, how it works is, okay, how it works is, I plus plus, what it will do is, if our current I value is 0, 0 plus 1 it will take, that will result, that will evaluate the expression, the value becomes 1. Okay, instead of writing I equal to I plus 1, we will write it as the I plus plus, and it is very flexible and faster in executing the logic. It is the reason we will write. Okay, in similar fashion, I minus minus, see, this minus minus stands for I equal to I minus 1. Okay, so that implies if the current value is equal to I 1, means this will be evaluated as 1, I equal to 1 minus 1, the result would be 0. Okay, the result would be 0. This is how the plus plus and minus operators are working. Okay, so now after printing this logic of the program, it will go back, it will go for the I plus plus operator. Okay, I plus plus operator. Now what happens after executing this logic? Okay, logic I equal to, okay, I equal to I plus 1, I plus 1, that implies the recent I value is 0. Okay, the recent I value is 0. Plus 1 will be added. As see, I am substituting the values. I equal to I plus 1. LHS I am substituting. The very recent I value is 0. From here, you can capture it. Okay, from here, the recent I value is 0. I'm replacing 0 plus 1. That becomes, okay, that implies I equal to 0 plus 1 equal to 1. I value will be incremented by 1. So what we said, after doing I plus plus operator, it will go to the this condition again. This is what the loop. So here, where the loop will be executed is I less than 10, print the I value and increment the I value and check the condition. This is the loop exactly here. N number of times will be executed. How many, what is N here? Unless keep on increasing the I value, unless it reaches to value 10, this will be executed. Okay, this will be executed. So that is what exactly meaning of the loop statement. Now at the last line, I equal to I plus 1 is the logic. And after I equal to I plus 1 is evaluated, this one is going to check for this condition. So this condition, again, it will check. At this moment, what is the I value? I value is equal to 1. Okay, I value is equal to 1. Then what is the condition we have? I less than 10. Okay, I less than 10. So that implies, okay, that implies I value at this moment is 1, less than 10 is the condition. Okay, 10 is the condition. So now question mark, 1 less than 10. The condition is true or false. 1 less than 10, the condition is true. Then, okay, the condition is true. Then what we said, whenever this condition is true, it will go inside, it will try to print the I value. So at this moment, what is the very recent I value is 1. 1 will be printed. Okay, so the last I value is I equal to 1. 1 is printed. So after 1 is printed, then what we said, again, it will go to incrementation of the I value. Okay, it will go to incrementation of the I value. That means I equal to I plus 1, I equal to I plus 1, I equal to the very recent I value is 1. 1 plus 1 would be the logic, that becomes I equal to 2. Okay, that becomes I equal to 2. Again, after doing this incremental, it will come to this part again, checking for the condition. So the next condition is at this moment, I value is 2. Okay, I value is 2. Okay, 2, and check for the condition. Okay, after here, again, it will come to here, checking for the condition. 2 less than or equal to 10. Okay, 2 less than or equal to 10. Again, question mark, is this true condition or the false condition? The condition is true. That implies whenever that condition is true, it will go inside, it will try to print the value, current and recent I value. At this moment, the recent I value is true. Okay, the recent I value becomes 2. So this will be in the loop now. So the I value keep on incremental. After executing this particular line, it will go to the incrementation of this value, I equal to I plus 1. The very recent I value is I'm substituting with 2 and plus 1. That implies I value becomes 3. Okay, I value becomes 3. And again, it will come to condition of the program. And remember, this is the loop we said, checking for the condition. At this moment, I value is equal to 3. Okay, I value is equal to 3. That implies check for the condition 3 less than 10. Okay, question mark. True condition or the false condition. The condition is true. Okay, condition is true. Then I value becomes 3. Okay, I value becomes 3. Then it will print the value of I that becomes 3. Okay, to understand it better, I'm changing to 5. Means I need to print the numbers up to 5 so that the same thing we can reduce discussion. Okay, so at this moment, I equal to 3, I value will be printed after. Okay, after printing the I value from here, it will go to incrementation of the decrementation value. Then I equal to, at this moment, I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. The very recent I value is 3. 3 plus 1 would be the logic. Then this would be coming to here, checking for the condition I less than 5. Okay, so the result is I value becomes 4. Okay, I value becomes 4. 4 and then go to the next line, checking for the condition I equal to 4. Okay, I equal to 4. That implies 4 less than 5 is the true condition or the false condition. I'm changing all to 5. Okay, 4 less than 5. The condition is true. That implies it will go inside. It will print the I value. At this moment, I value is 4. So the value 4 will be printed as the output. Okay, the value 4 will be printed as the output. Then, okay, so then after this, okay, after this, I equal to I plus 1. The very recent I value is 4. 4 plus 1, that equal to 5. Okay, that implies I value becomes 5. Okay, and 4 will be printed. Now check for the condition. I is equal to 5. Then going for the condition 5 less than 5 is the true condition of the false condition. See, 5 is not less than 5. The condition is false. Then what happens is, as per the loop condition, now the condition is failed when I value reaches to 5. Then what happens is it will exit from the loop. It will come to the line number 14. Okay, it will come to line number 14. It will keep executing the remaining lines in the program. So remember here, if you observe line number 9, 10, 11, 12 are executing n number of times. Multiple times it was executing the same lines again and again. So this is what we call it as the loop. And this is how the for loop will be executed. Okay, so this is how the for loop will be executed, execution pattern. Okay, so this is how the for loop will be executed. Okay, so now what happens is numbers up to 4 will be printed. Okay, like this. Now see the debug point, how this is executing. Okay, so I value is set to 0. Then going to follow my cursor. Okay, I value set to 0. Then checking for the condition C, I less than 5. Okay, at this moment, I is equal to 0. I less than 5, true condition. When the condition is true, it will go to inside of the loop. Means from here, it will come to line number 11. Okay, 10, 11 will be executed. Then it will go to the 12. From here, what we said, again, it will come to incrementation of the I value. See, at this moment, still I value is 0 and 0 is also printed. I hope you can see it. See, 0 value is already printed. Then what happens is from here, it will go to the back. That is what we talk about the backward mechanism. Okay. So from line number 12, it will go to line number 9 and this I plus plus section. Okay. So it has come to I plus plus. Okay. Still I value is 0. Press F11. Now check condition. I value is become 1 due to the line I equal to I plus 1. Okay, due to this kind of statement here, the I value is incremented. Now I value becomes 1. And check for the condition I is 1, I less than 5 means 1 less than 5, the condition is true. It will go inside, it will print the value. Okay, it will print the value. See, very clearly, it will go back and check for the condition. At this moment, I value is 2, 2 less than 5. The condition is true. It will go inside, it will print the value. Now see, the I value becomes 3, 3 less than 5. Okay, 3 less than 5. The condition is true. It will go inside, it will try to print the I value. And again, it will come to I. Now the I value is 4, 4 less than 5. The condition is true. It will go inside, it will print that value. Then I value becomes 5. 5 less than 5. The condition is false. See, when you see the false, it will exit from this loop. It will come to line number 14. Okay, it will come to line number 14. That is where it will stop execution of the loop statement. Okay, can anyone, can you suggest if you wanted to print number 5 also, what I have to do? Where do I need to do the changes?
Equal to.
Okay.
Less than or equal to.
Yeah, I saw 2 answers. Good. Okay. So here, instead of less than, you have to keep less than or equal to. Then what happens is it will print the value 5 also. So let me disable the debugger. See, it will print the values up to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 numbers it will print. We can do some change, like instead of using console.writeline, use console.write, give some space, print 0, 5. It looks decent. Okay, so like this, it will print. Anyways, we don't need the statement console.writeline. But instead of this, let it be keep end. Okay, like this, it will display. Now, can someone suggest me like, I don't want to print numbers up to 5 or 10 or like this. If I want 100, it has to print numbers up to 100. If I want numbers up to 1000, it has to print up to 1000. What are the changes need to be made in this program? Anyone can suggest. Can take time. See here I have given number 5, static 5. Maybe I want 100, maybe I want 200, or maybe 1000, like this. It has to keep changing at runtime.
We want to print 1 to 100 or 1000, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can max value means condition 100 or 1000.
Okay. Okay, fine. That is the approach we need to follow. Anyone else can suggest me the lines to write? Dinesh, Meghana, anyone? Srikant. Okay, so this is how we have to write the program. See, first thing is I don't want to print, I don't want to mention the max number to print at design time, so that we have to make it the dynamic int n or the max. Anyone you can take. Now give some output console.writeline. Okay, enter a number. Okay, enter a number and try to read that number. Try to put it into the line. Okay, now instead of writing 5 here, okay, instead of writing 5 here, okay, you have to print max. Now what happens is if we go 100, it will print numbers up to 100. If we go 1000, it will print numbers up to 1000. Okay, so let me run it. Enter a number 100 and let me disable the breakpoint. So that a breakpoint is already disabled, it seems. Okay, so enter a number 100. See, it will print numbers up to 100. Okay, so it could print numbers up to 100. And if you want numbers up to 1000, just change one condition. So it can print up numbers up to 1000 as well. So this is the way the loops are working. Okay, for loops are working. Now, let us assume another program. Okay, so we have to assume another program. We have given a program to print sum of the numbers up to a given number. Means if I enter 5, it has to print the value. It has to print the summation up to 5. Okay, suppose if I give a value 5, okay, it has to print 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, that equal to how much it has to print. Okay, we can call this program as write a program to print sum of integer numbers. Okay, sum of integer numbers. So this is the program for it. Okay, so we need to do some changes in this program. Int max, and I would like to define one more variable. Let it be say int sum equal to 0. Okay, here instead of writing, I don't want to print the values like 0, 1, 2, 4. Instead of that, you have to write sum equal to sum plus I. Okay, sum equal to sum plus I. So this is the change in the program. At the end, sum of numbers, okay, is comma sum you have to print. Okay. Okay, like this. Now try to understand how this logic works. Okay, so the same logic. See, I have taken 1 hour to explain the for loop because importance. And every program I cannot explain those many times. Need attention if someone is not understand, because loops are very helpful and quite critical in initial stage to understand how those are working, but need your attention and practice. Okay, so for every loop we cannot take 1 hour to explain it. Only for loop I will explain for a lot of time. Then remaining loops will give you the syntaxes. You need to do practice. And again, in real time, I'm not sure programmers in general, they don't prefer to use while loop and do while loop unless there is a specific need. But remember, it's important to learn them as well. Mostly will be used for and for each and less while and do while, but those are in use. Okay. Okay, so this is the program, and the requirement is we have to print the numbers in this format. 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 5 we have to print. Okay, so max value at this moment I would like to print summation up to 5. So the max value will become 5. Then I have taken a temporary variable. At this moment I have named it as this sum. The value I set it to 0. Okay, 0. Then enter a number, means 5 is the number I'm going to input. Then it will come to the for loop. In the for loop, I equal to 0. At this moment, I equal to 0. Then checking for the condition. Okay, 0 less than or equal to 5. Okay, 5, the condition is true. Okay, the condition is true. So when the condition is true, what happens? The value will become sum equal to sum plus I. So what is the recent sum value? Recent sum value is 0 plus 0 plus. What is the recent I value? Recent I value is 0. Okay, recent I value is 0. That implies, okay, that implies the sum becomes 0. Okay, the sum becomes 0. Still, this value is 0. Okay, so the recent sum is 0. As of now, we are here. Now, from here, it will go to incrementation of the I value. Now I value becomes 1. I value will be incremented. Then check for the condition 1 less than or equal to 5. Okay, so true condition or the false condition. 1 less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Okay, the condition is true. Then it will go inside again. in the inside sum equal to sum plus I. So what is the recent sum value? From here, recent sum value is 0 and the latest sum value is, sorry, this is I. Okay, the recent I value is the 1. The expression becomes sum equal to sum plus I. It becomes 0 plus 1. Okay, so 0 plus 1 equal to how much? See, 0 plus 1, the result is 1. The result expression will be saved to sum again. Now, the recent sum value is 1 because 0 plus 1. From here, it will go to incrementation of the I value. Then I value becomes 2. Okay, I value becomes 2. Then checking for the condition I less than or equal to, okay, I less than or equal to 5. Yes, thanks. Thanks for the option. Okay, so 2 less than or equal to 5. Okay, 2 less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Okay, the condition is true. As the condition is true, it will go inside sum equal to sum plus I. The recent I value is becomes 2. Okay, the recent I value is 2 and 0 plus 1 plus 2. The result is 3. In the recent sum, there will be a value 3. And again, from here, it will go to incrementation of the I value. Then I value becomes 3. Okay, I value becomes 3. Then check for the condition 3 less than 5. The condition is, it will say the condition is true again. Okay, the condition is true again. From here, it will come to the inside sum equal to sum plus I. So it was the recent sum and the new recent I value is 3. Okay, 3 and summation. 2 plus 1 equal to 6. And in the recent sum, the value 6 would be there. And again, after executing this logic, it will go to incrementation of the I value. Then I value becomes 4. Okay, so 4 less than 5. The condition is again the true condition. Okay, the condition is true. As the condition is true, it will go inside. Again, sum equal to sum plus I. The recent I value is 4. The logic will become 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 indirectly. And always the recent sum will be saved to here. And again, now I value becomes 5. Okay, I value becomes 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Okay, the condition is true. Again, it will come to here. It will keep adding the recent I value as well. Then sum becomes 5. Now I value becomes 6. Okay, I value becomes 6 from here. And coming to here, check for the condition is equal to 6. And 6 less than or equal to 5. The condition false, it will terminate from the loop. So whatever the logic we have expected. Okay, so whatever the logic we have expected, sum equal to 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is evaluated exactly so that it can print the value 15 as the output. Suppose if you do 100, it will print the values up to 100. Maybe if you are good in mathematics, okay, to print the sum of numbers is n equal to n plus 1 by 2, I guess. And exactly, I'm not sure. Okay, so there is one formula in mathematics, okay, to print the numbers up to sum of numbers up to 20. Okay, so just run the program. So enter 5. See. Enter 5. Okay, sum of 5 will be printed. Suppose if we do 100, sorry, again I have given 10, 55. Maybe if we go 1000. Okay, so this is the sum of numbers up to 1000. So this is how the things will be working. Okay, so you need to write a program for tomorrow class or the next Sunday. Write a program to print numbers from, so not to print the numbers, you have to print even numbers even numbers from 0 to given number. Okay, so if I give a program, okay, if I give 100, it has to print all the even numbers up to 100. Okay, that is the first program. The second program, write a program to print even numbers from given range. Okay, given range. See, from the given range means if I give 10 and 20, it has to print all even numbers from 10 to 20. If I give 11 and 20, it has to print all even numbers from 11 to 20. If I give 1000 and 2000, it has to print even numbers from 1000 to 10,000. So that is the way it has to work. And the other program, here write a program to print table. Tables, you know, right? Mathematical tables, one twos are two, two twos are four, like this. If I give 3, it has to print third table up to 10. Okay, it has to print third table up to 10. Okay, so these 3 programs I'm expecting for the next week. Okay, so take break for 10 minutes and come back. We will continue with the while and do while. I will complete while and do while, but to discuss for each, we have to complete the arrays concept, then we will come back to this. So by this week, we were going to complete up to while loop. Then next week onwards, we will start working on the object-oriented concept. Okay, so take break for 10 minutes. We will start again. Okay, so this is the way for loop works. Okay, we have under 45 minutes of time. Okay, so let us try to complete other 2 loops we have. Or we have discussed and while and do while. See, there is nothing much to discuss about other lobes, which we haven't discussed in further. The concept is same. Any lobe that works on initialization value, condition, and increment or decrement. Any loop based on these 3 conditions, these 3 factors only. However, it varies in terms of the syntax only, means where we initialize the value, where the condition we have to put, and where the incremental or decremental we have to put it. Okay, so only the syntax difference. And comparatively, why I have told like for is more flexible is for contains the initial value and condition and increment or decrement. We can write it in the same line so that it would be flexible to work with the for loop. The same thing we can do with the while loop also. Okay, the same thing we can do with the while loop also, but it changes. First, we have to initialize the value. Okay, we have to initialize the value. Then write the condition. Okay, then write the condition. Okay, write the condition. So in the loop, okay, in the loop, we have to mention the incremental or decremental followed by the statements to be executed. Okay, statements to be executed. So like I said, the same program, okay, the same program, you can write using for loop, you can write using while loop and do while loop. Only the difference is in the while loop, first we have to initialize the value, then check for the condition. Then in the loop, we have to decide whether the value to be incremented or decremented. Then it would be followed by the statements also. Okay, executable statements also. Now let us see how to write the same program using while loop. Okay, so I'm trying to write a program to print the numbers from 0 to given number using while. Okay, so int I equal to 0. So what we said, the initialization value would be not in the same line. So I or init, you can take it anything. Init is equal to 0. I have initialized the value. Then let me take another number. I could name it as the max. Okay, max. Then try to read this value, console.writeLine. Enter max value. Okay, then max equal to int dot parse console dot readLine. Okay, we should be able to read the value. Then this is where we have to implement the while. Okay, so while is followed by a keyword while, then write the condition init less than max, then try to print the I value. I'm trying to print the I value. Sorry, not I. We have taken it as the init. Okay, so in the beginning or the end, we have to write the okay plus plus. See, if you are confused with the previous program, you can take it I also. So same program, yes, same program. We have presented it in different way. Like I said, the same program we can do using the for loop, and we can do using for each loop also. Okay, sorry, for loop and while loop. Using any one of them, we can do the same program. And the difference looks in the syntax. If it is the for initialization, condition, incremental, decremental would be same line. If it is while, what happens is first we write the initialization value, then we are checking for the condition, then we were looking for the incremental or decremental from the I value. So you can run it out. Okay, so let it we give I value 10. So it will print values up to 9. If you want to print the value 10 also, just need to add one line extra. Okay. Okay, so that is the way it works. Whereas in other had do while. Okay, let us try to run this program and see the debugging, how this one is working. I'm running the program. See the execution pattern. See, I have explained a lot about the for loop, and you guys need to apply that for the while loop. Okay, so I value set to 0, then it will ask for the max value, and the max value I'm giving it as the 10. Okay, I have given max value as 10. Then this will come to here. I value is 0, max value is 10, and I less than max, the condition is true. It will enter inside. Okay, it will enter inside. It will print the I value. Okay, if you see the value 0 is already printed, the value 0 is already printed. Then it will go to incrementation of the I value, I plus plus. Okay, if you look at I now, the I value becomes 1. So, and again, line number 21, it will go to the 17. That's what, whenever you mention the condition, every time it will go back to the line, and it will keep checking the while loop unless the condition is true. So it will come back again. It will print value, next value, I value 1. Now you could see the value 1 is printed. Like this loop will be repeated. Okay, this loop will be repeated 10 times unless the I value becomes 10. At this moment, I value is 6, means it will execute another 4 times. Now see, I value is 9. Okay, now I value becomes 10. 10 less than 10, the condition is true. So it will print value I. Now I value become 11. Okay, I value become 11. I less than 11, the condition is false. So that from here, it will go to the end of the program. So this is how the while loop works. Okay, so like I said, the same program you can do using while or the for loop. There is nothing difference. But in real time, I can see many people they prefer to use for loop when compared with the while. On the other hand, the same program you can do with the do while loop also. And remember, these loops are syntaxical different. Okay, syntax different. Okay. Okay, so the syntax for do while is like other loops. There is no condition initially, and there will be initial value, and there will be condition as well, and there will be incremental or decremental. But the way it organizes is different. First, we have a keyword to is followed by executable statements. Okay, and at the end, we have to use the while keyword. Here, the condition would be affected. So this is the syntax for the do while. Okay, so only the syntax different when compared with the other two. In do while, what happens is without any checking condition, it will start the execution of the loop statement. I will let you know why this works like this. But like I said, there is no really strong reason, like different ways of using the loops. That's it. Okay, so see the application, how it works. Okay, so we have initialization value, we have max value, we are taking that value. If we are doing the same program using do while, we have to use the keyword to. We have to use the keyword to. Now print the value. Okay, now print the value. Okay, I'm not going to check for any other conditions. Print the value. Then increment or the decrement. Okay, increment or decrement. Then write your condition at the end. Okay, I less than max. See, many freshers interview questions, they will ask the questions like, what is the difference between while and do while? If it is the while, the condition will be checking in the beginning. When the condition is true, then loop block will be executed. Okay, loop block will be executed. Whereas do while, without checking any condition, this will be executed. Then at the end, this one will be checking. Can anyone respond if I ask you a question? Enter max value. Okay, enter max value. If I give -1, okay, -1, what is the output will be printed if I am using do while, if I'm using while loop? Okay, see, enter max value. I will try to input max value as the -1. Then first let me know what is the output using while. If I am using while, how many numbers it will print? You can respond. You can think. I will give 2 minutes. You can think and let me know. And don't execute on your personal missions and tell me the output. Try to guess it by reading this, by looking at the program. Enter max value. I'm giving.
Yes, 1-0.
Okay, so while will give error and do while will print 0. That's what Stregel says. Okay, and the other responses. Okay, so I will come to you, Stregel. The answer is correct or not. We will discuss that part. Okay, Sai says -1 and 0. Others, can you please respond? Okay, so Meghana says do while print 0. And what about while? Okay, what while will do? Yeah, I see many people expecting responses. I see 3 responses. Others also can. I will wait for another 2 minutes. Yeah, do while is 0. Then what about while?
While I will check the condition, which is y the value and max 2.
Okay. Okay, see. Meghana, correct. See, in while what happens is that one will check for the condition. What is the I value? 0. What is the max value? -1. 0 minus 1, 0 less than -1, the condition is false. So that nothing it will print. It won't print anything in the while. Because the condition is false. Okay, suppose let me comment out the do while. Okay, if you run this program now, okay, if I said I value is -1, see no output, you can see, you don't see any output. Because in the first time itself, okay, in the first time itself, means in the first iteration itself, okay, if you see, enter max value, I'm giving -2. So I value is 0, max value is -2. In the beginning itself, the condition is false. So nothing will be printed. So no output, no any decent output you can see on this one. So the same program, I'm trying to do it with do while loop. Okay, in the do while loop, what do while will do is do while will print the first value. Means without checking any condition, it is going inside, right? So console.write line, I value will be printed. Then value will be incremented. Then checking for the condition. Then condition false. It will exit from the loop. Okay, see, I equal to 0. It will ask for the max value -1 or 2, whatever you can give it. See, 0 is printed. The other one, you don't see any output. Okay, so keep the breakpoint here. Okay, so -1. Okay, do, because there is no condition. It will go inside. First, it will print the I value. Value will be incremented. Then check for the condition. I less than -1. 1 less than -1. The condition is false. It will exit from the loop. 0 will be printed. Now, when the questions you have, when I have to use the while and do while is, maybe if you would like to execute loop at least once, if you think like this, you can use the do while loop. Okay, when that one is not important, you can work with the while loop. The loop statements that we discuss now for while and do while, based on its behavior, those are divided into 2 groups: entry control loop and the exit control loop. What is meaning of entry control loop is, if you take the example for and while loops, first it will check the condition, then only it will enter inside of the loop. So that is the entry control loop. Before enter into the loop itself, They were checking for the condition. That's what exactly entry control loop. And what is exit control loop is, don't check any condition, enter into the loop first, then check for the condition at the end of the loop. That is called as the exit control loop. Okay, so for and while are entry control loop, whereas do while is the exit control loop. Maybe do while is helpful when the none of the conditions are true, as it does not display any value. We may be confused. To avoid that, we can use the do while, but there is no specific benefits of using do while when compared with the other two. Only it depends on how you are comfortable. If you want, you can use while, you can use while, you can use do while as well. The old programmers like VB.NET, who are the programmers from 90s, 70s, those I can see they prefer to use the while and do while. But the recent programmers, mostly they will work with the for and for each loop. It's very rare we use do and while loop in the programs. Okay, so are you clear, all of you? What is the difference between three loops? Say yes or no, or type yes. Okay, great. Okay, so now I will try to explain one more program. Printing of the tables using for loop. Okay, so you have to print, you have to give a number. If we give number 10, it has to print the 10th table up to 10. Means 1 tens are 10, 2 tens are 20, 3 tens are 30. That program we have to do it here. Okay, enter a number. We have to input number equal to int dot parse console dot read line. We have to read the number. Okay. Now, for we have to begin like initial int I equal to 0. So I have to print up to 10. So I have given less than or equal to 10. I plus plus we have to add. So in the for loop, very simple, console dot write line. Okay, so just see the output first, then I will try to explain the logic. Yeah, you guys try with the other loops while and do while. Then let me cover it. Okay, enter a number 10. So it will print the 10th tables. Okay, 0 to 10. You guys, how you can try is not up to 10. This also you have to decide dynamically. Okay, not like not up to 10, maybe up to 20 or 30 or 50. You have to decide at the runtime. After you run the application, you have to decide it. Okay, so just see the output. enter a number. I'm giving 5. So that my expectation is it has to print the numbers up to 5. So value is 0. Okay, I less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. It will enter inside. In this 0 position, it will try to print the I value. In this 1 position, it will try to print the number. Then this 2 position, it will try to print I into number. So I is the incremental, number is the static. The static means one time input. Then I into n. At this moment, I value is 0, number is 5. So I into 5 means 0 into 5, 0 will be printed. See, first I value is printed in this 0 position. Then number is printed. The number is 5, the given number, and 0 into 5, this one, 0 into 5, 0 is printed. Then it will go back, increment the I value becomes 1. Now, I is equal to 1, number is 5, I into 5. It means 1 into 5, 5 will be printed. Okay, 1 into 5 will be printed. So this will repeat 10 times. Okay, so 10 times the number will be incremented. Okay, so loops are very important in terms of the interviews and many other things also, like while doing the real-time applications also important. Remember, when you work with the loops, you have to be very careful. Careful means if you don't define the conditions or the incremental or decremental in proper way, that causes to infinite loops. Infinite loops are the deadlocks. There are some concepts in your academics. Okay, so here what I'm doing is, here I'm trying to change the condition. Okay, so instead of giving I less than or equal to 10, okay, if I give the condition mistake, if I don't give the proper conditions, then what happens is it cannot exit from the loop. So what is the standard to exit from the loop? This condition has to be failed. Okay, this condition has to be failed. Now, at this moment, what is the I value? 0. Suppose by mistake, I have given minus 10. Instead of giving plus 10, minus 10, I have given. Now, the biggest question mark is, okay, the biggest question mark is, if I give minus 10, when this loop will fail? That is the question mark. Because that loop is going to never and ever fail. Because I value is initially 0. Check for the condition 0 less than 10. The condition is, sorry, this won't work. Maybe let it be less than 10 only. But instead of giving I plus plus, consider like this, I'm giving I minus minus. Okay, like this. Okay, and so at this moment, I value is 0, 0 less than 10. The condition is true. It will go inside, it will execute. From here, it will be coming to here, I minus minus. Now, I value becomes minus 1. Minus 1 less than 10. Again, true. It will go inside. I value keep increasing minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 like this. That value never and ever becomes less than, greater than 10. Because if it need to be exit from the loop, the I value has to become greater than 10. And I have given the decremental from 0. It will keep on changing the value from 0 to minuses, but it never comes to a positive value. It never becomes greater than 10. Then what happens is this becomes a deadlock. Okay, system crash. In frankly speaking, that may lead to the system crash. Hackers will be using this kind of techniques to break the network. Okay, target network, if they wanted to break, they will follow this kind of techniques. They will try to inject this code into your program. Okay, so if you want, see, in that case, what happens is it will keep on printing the value. Whatever is there, it doesn't matter. It would stuck up in the loop value. See, I have given -1. See, this condition never fails. This condition never fails. Keep on printing the values. It never fails. You put it 1,000 times, 100 times, it never exits. That is the deadlock state. Deadlock means there is no further execution. Okay. So stop debugging. You can see if I run this program, see, it is keep increasing values, printing, say, -70,000, 80,000, 1 lakh, like this. It is keep on increasing. We cannot do anything apart from the stopping the application. Then only it will stop. Even if you don't stop, what happens is after a certain point of time, that causes to memory issues because it need a memory, right, to store these values. It leads to the system crash. Okay, we call them as the memory out of exceptions. Like this, there are many stages it would cause. And also this one will break the program execution. It goes to the deadlock state. Okay, so deadlock state means, I hope you know in your academics, there would be a concept of the deadlocks. Okay, and I don't want to explain that. So deadlock means the 20th line is trying to execute, but in order to execute the 20th line, it has to terminate from 14th line. This condition has to be failed if it need to execute line number 20. But unfortunately, this condition never fails, means the 20th line never and ever will be executed. So this kind of states in computer technology, we call it as the deadlock. Okay, we call it as the deadlock. Okay, so if we don't configure either condition or loop proper way, that causes to the deadlock. Okay, means loop crash, or else you can do like this also. Suppose if you put condition like this, okay, this is also causing to infinite loop that never going to out of the loop, but instead of negative numbers, it will start printing the positive numbers. You can see it's keep on increasing. It won't stop also. So you need to manually stop the program unless that's the 1,55,000 for 6 times it is printed because the condition never going to be failed. Never going to be failed. Okay, so this is all about the 3 loops we have: while, do while, and for loop. However, we have nested loops. You need little practice to understand the nested loop statement, so that I'm giving time all this week, practice the programs that I have given. So next week we can start nested loop and for each, then we can jump to the OOPS concept. Then I would like to give you the difference between for each and while loop when compared with the, for, while, and do while, and the for each loop. See, in all the loops that we have now, while, do while, and for loop, we have to state the initial value, we have to state the condition, we have to state the incremental or decremental also. See, suppose there is a room. Okay, in that room, there are 10 balls. Okay, 10 balls. I told someone, go and pick all the balls in that room. There are 10 balls only. Okay, 10 balls only. I told someone, go to the room, pick all the balls in the room. Then what happens is probably he will take a ball, he will put all the balls in that ball and coming out. Is the person required to check ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4 like this? Not required, because the condition is pick up all the balls and come out. And the other case, go to that room, pick up the balls from 4 to 8, bring them out. Then probably I need to count first ball, second ball, third ball, and pick from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and leave other 2 balls. Why I told this example is the while loop, for loop, and do while loop works in this fashion. Example 2. It will start, it has the starting point, it has the ending point. The starting point is go to the room, pick the balls number 4 to 8. Starting point, ending point we have. However, when we have a different condition, pick all the balls, then really we don't need to write these conditions, I equal to 0, I greater than 0, less than, we don't need, just go and pick up all. Then what happens is we have to use the for each loop. So basically what for each loop will contain is, for each loop has no beginning point, no ending point. In certain collection, it will start, it will decide automatically starting point and automatically ending point. We cannot stop in between. Okay, we cannot stop in between. If we have that kind of requirement, you can go with the for each loop. Frankly speaking, for each is highly faster than other two loops, for while and do while, because it has no special mechanism like to check zero, condition, increment, or decrement. It will not check anything. Just go and pick all. That's it. So for each is faster in performance in that point of view. Okay. So in order to discuss the for loop, we need to know how arrays are organized in C#.NET. Okay. So that we will cover it in the next section. And remember, by next week, we will finish the basic concepts. If we complete arrays and loops, the basic concepts are completed. And we have to discuss the object-oriented concept. It will take around 3 to 4 hours. I'm planning to complete object-oriented concept by end of next week. Okay, end of next week. In that way, as early as possible, we can start with the object-oriented concept. Sorry, including object-oriented concept, we can end by next weekend. And then we have to start with the ADO.NET. If you start with ADO.NET means you are into real-time concepts. Okay, project-oriented concepts will be started from ADO.NET. And don't think as the project-oriented concepts will begin from ADO.NET and OOPS concept is not important, because entire project-oriented concepts are purely dependent on OOPS concept, object-oriented concepts.